Hi. How's everybody? So I'm very inspired today and I want to come live. It's been a few days, again. And I wanted to come live because I have been very inspired today, thinking. And just a little while ago, I published a little post on Facebook. Hello, Hugo. Hola, Hugo. I see people joining, so I'm gonna do this live in English. So if you have any questions or anything, hola Tania, hola Adolfo, yeah. So I'm gonna be doing this in English because as I usually do, and it's a very important topic, and it must be told like in universal language. That's the way I usually feel. So I hope it's just fine. So I was saying, and I'm gonna keep on going. I've been very inspired today about things that have kept me thinking, like keeping me thinking. A little while ago, like half an hour ago, I posted how we need more thinkers that think more like children, like with that innocence, with that sense of not worrying about what people are gonna think about what you do, right? So I've been thinking a lot today, just thinking. Hi Casey, thanks for joining. So I'm just getting started, and I'm talking. I just want to think out loud, basically speaking. I just want to think out loud because there's a lot of things that have been going through my mind today, and it's been mostly about the way we do things and the way we live, and also truths, which is a very huge thing for me these days. Because, since I've been doing my own business and trying, since I quit my job almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, it's been very different, quite a ride of mostly getting to know myself in a level that I have never encountered before. And in the process of building my own business, I've also learned that the business is me, right? We are what we do, or we do what we are. I don't know if that makes sense, but there are these things that have really come up for me in the last couple of years, in the last months, in the last weeks, in the last days, in the last hours, and it's been about truths, my truths, or things that I know are my truths, some of them I've been very happy, sharing about them. I'm usually very public about my life and about the things that I've been doing and choosing to do, and shifting and changing. And most of you who know me well, or not so well, but through social media, you know that I'm very open about it, because I think it really helps people. And I see lots of people joining, so hello, thank you. Lots of people from Costa Rica. Yay! So I was saying, there is this thing about our own truths that I want to bring up today. Like, what are things that have really kept us hiding, not in a bad way, like hiding, but things that have kept us, a little bit blocked or stopped from doing things that we really want to do, or yeah, it's basically that. And the thing with this is very tricky. It could be work related, it could be personal, it could be so many things, but it's usually an emotional thing that has kept us stopping ourselves from doing stuff that we really want to do. And by this, I don't mean, quit your job and go travel for a year and do crazy stuff. I mean, if that calls you, perfect. It called me and I did it, and it was really good. And it was also very difficult, which is something I have never really shared through the year that I was traveling. It was very difficult, and most people wish they could do that, right? Most people that I know, or, that have seen my journey, they've been like, oh, I want to do that, and it's great. I really wanted to do it, but talking with friends, I've shared a little bit of this, how my year and a half of traveling non-stop, being somehow nomadic, was probably the toughest time of my life, at least in the last decade, easily. It was very difficult. It was very stressful. By last year in November, I was in my lowest point of being burnout of traveling and depressed and confused, and there were these things. It was always nice to go to new places, but then after 18 months of doing the same thing, it lost this sense of marvel. It lost this sense of inner growth that I always get from moving around, from going to new places, which is really what makes me think and think massively, like a philosopher or something like that. It really pumps me up when I can do that, and that's just a matter of going to new places, challenging myself, putting myself in a position, in a place or a situation that is nice and good enough for me to want to think and expand my own limits in my own brain. And when I stopped feeling that, the trip was really draining me more than making me grow, right? So that's when I decided, okay, I need to stop. I need to maybe go home, be near my people. Hola, Giselle. To recharge myself, and it's just a time of your life. It's a stage. So sometimes we travel, sometimes we are in a job that we want, or eventually that job becomes a job that we don't want anymore. And there are these things that we are so afraid to speak about, to share with people, with our relatives or with strangers, whatever helps, but we're usually afraid of sharing our truths. And these truths are these things that will really allow us to move even more forward, right? I don't know if you're following, if there's, if you want to ask me anything or you want to share anything, just it would be nice if you want to, send me hearts and likes or something, just, if you're there. Hi to everyone who's joining. I'm speaking about truths, right? Because there are things that I personally know that I haven't shared many times because of fear, sometimes fear of judgment, fear of many things. And we all do it because it's only human, right? And today I've been thinking a lot on these things and these last days, and I'm realizing there are things that we need to let go in our lives personally, very, very internally, and just go on this inner journey, right? Of trying to overcome all these things, because in the very end, the life that we do, the life that we live, that we build, is because we make these decisions. And decisions that we make for ourselves, they shouldn't be based on fear, really. Fear, the wrong kind of fear, the fear that stops you from doing things that you really want to do. And it's just, bear with me, because this doesn't mean leaving everything behind and changing completely, right? It's little tiny steps every single day on daily life, and truths, whatever we hide that we think people will judge us for, those things are probably the most important in the very end. After all, every single day, I mean, at the end of every day, I think we all want the same thing, just to be calm in our head, in our feelings, in our soul, and just have a good night's sleep and feel good with ourselves and good with the people that are, surrounding us. It doesn't matter where we are. Eventually, we are, we want to be okay anywhere we are in the world, right? It could be here, it could be there, if we're traveling, if we're in one place. So these truths are key. They are really key to what we are. And for example, in the process of building my business, I encountered something that I never thought, or I never knew I would encounter while doing a business of your own. Like when you have to be your own boss, it's dreamy, it's great, it's many things, but it's a process, it's an inner process, and I never knew it was an inner process. I understood that just until I started going into that inner process myself and realizing that to create a business where I am my own boss, I have to deal with my own shit. Like my deepest, most, everything, really the deepest shit that you have inside, the things that you have been, like the shit that you have been carrying around, that maybe it's not even yours, but all these beliefs that you were brought up with, sometimes they just don't serve you anymore. They just don't work in your new reality, in your new mindset, in this thing that you want to create and you want to live, you know, feeling better. Sometimes it's simply, you know, we need to change these things that we had in our heads before, because we evolve, and I think it's just very natural to evolve. I mean, when we don't evolve and when we don't grow in life, we are stagnated and we are sitting there not growing, and that's not right? Like when we're kids, since we're babies until we're adults, we grow physically, we grow, right? We gain height. If we don't gain height while we're growing up, then something is wrong and we need to go to the pediatrician to get checked, because there's something wrong when a kid is not growing as it should, right? So the same happens with the emotions and with the soul, and that's something that speaks of our truths, right? Lorna says we have to become self-aware and whole to move forward in life, especially to be a leader. Yeah, and to be a leader for many people, and also to be a leader within your own family or within your own circle, within your own, you know, team at work, any kind of leader. That's absolutely right. So yeah, so there is this thing with growth that has to be something that starts within you, that it begins with you, it begins inside you, and you are the one who needs to do the work. And that's just how it is. And in order to do that, we have to, you know, to just dig very deeply emotionally and become aware of these issues. You know, awareness, like Lorna just said, like becoming self-aware. Awareness is everything. It is everything for our emotional health, for our physical health, health in general, your state of well-being, of how happy and calm you are in every single day. It starts with awareness, right? And this awareness will allow you to move forward, as in you need to deal with the things that have affected you in the past, that have maybe, you know, things that we don't even understand sometimes because maybe we were kids, things that are in our unconscious, you know, mind. But there are these things. We need to bring them in the present, to heal them and just let them go. And that's how it works. That's really how it works with everything, not just while you're a business owner. It happens when you have a family, when you have kids. I personally don't have any kids, but everything works like that. In the end, I think, you know, just being a bit of a philosopher kind of thinking or something here, but it's just about how good you feel at the very end of your day, every single day, and how calm you are about issues from the past or issues in the present. You deal with them. That takes strength, and that takes, you know, overcoming your own truths. And the only way to know them is to really stick with yourself in a way that will allow you to be aware. Like I was saying, I was talking the other day with a few friends about how this nomadic year, yes, thank you for that, Lorna. Yeah, no words. So I was saying, when I was sharing with my friends about this year of traveling that I was doing, was I think the most difficult year of my life. And it sounds dreamy, but the reality is that it wasn't. And it's fine. I haven't talked about it because, you know, people are saying, oh, that's so great, that's so dreamy. Yes, but it's also difficult. The reality is always your own reality, right? And accepting this out loud made me feel good about myself. Like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I accept that it was a very, very difficult year. Sometimes I'm still recovering from a few things. But that's life. So when you accept it, it kind of the power that it has over you, it becomes lighter, it becomes easier to carry, and it becomes easier to just recover from stuff, right? So those truths, you have to let them out. Whatever it is, you have to let them out, because it's the only way you will feel free and light in a way to just do what you are. Here's another truth of mine, for example. Hi, Carla, Juanca, everybody. So nice to have so many people here. So there is this other truth, for example. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. In case you're joining for the first time, I am a doctor. So I did medicine school here in Costa Rica, where I am from and where I am at the moment. Then I worked for over a decade. I was the first year after graduation, I was I became very depressed. I was burnout. I was recently graduated from med school, and then suddenly I was burned out. I didn't even know the word burnout. I remember Googling being so stressed, depressed at work, that kind of thing. And then I realized there was this thing called burnout. And I was just, 25 years old after being graduated from university. And I thought, oh my God, is this really that kind of thing? Am I just at the very beginning of my journey, my working journey, what I'm supposed to do to live from the next 30 years, of my life? And I was already hating it really, really badly. That was wrong. I didn't know what I was going to do about it. I felt like, shit, I just can't tell my parents, because they helped me and supported me all the way so much, and I was feeling these things, so I was feeling guilty, and until I couldn't do it anymore, and I just quit this job that I was doing that first year only. And then after a couple of years, I found this other thing, this other place where I could do medicine in a better way that would make me feel better on daily basis. I was able to bear with my own profession, the one that I chose, because I love it. And I can happily say, after all these years, now I'm doing this thing that is just definitely better. It sticks to who I am, with the things that I believe, and it's more of awareness, health awareness, emotional health, all these kind of things. And but understanding that really took a long while for me. Feeling guilty, feeling like, what I'm gonna do with this, what I'm gonna do with that. And then I found this work that I enjoyed. I did a master's degree in pain management. And then after many years of doing that, I thought, okay, there is something else I need to do. It's very different, and but I feel like I can't not do it, right? So I quit my job 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago. I quit my job to do this thing that is, like an online doctor, and that really wants to talk about people, and to talk to people about, okay, we need to go back to basics. We need to understand the human body, to our own human body, to gain this sense of just knowing yourself so much, not just in the physical sense, but also in the emotional sense, and in the sense of your thoughts and your feelings and the things that you really believe for your life, your values, your boundaries. That is health, and I've been understanding this through the years more and more and more, and I am really convinced that health is this huge thing where you just simply want to feel good. That's why I've been launching this Feel Good universe that I am calling the Feel Good Academy, to help people see this thing, right? But I have felt a lot of guilt many times, because I am a doctor that is not doing the conventional doctor thing. I don't work at a hospital, at the national security system, and I don't give consultation in an actual, medical room box or something. And that haunts you because it makes you feel, oh shit, I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to do. Boom, that's wrong. That's wrong number one, or number, whatever you want to call it. Lorna says, yes, I can relate. paralegal degree, double major, second. Yeah, exactly. Have to be spiritually aligned in work. And that's the thing. When you do all these things, I mean, I chose my career because I wanted to. I did my master degree because I chose to. I went to do it to a different country, in a different continent. It was all new to me, and I was able to do it all. And I loved it, and it changed me so much, so damn much, that now I'm here back home for a few months at first, and finding this sense of you know, of identity, which I already have, but you're constantly growing and evolving. Casey, oh, thank you, Casey. Have a really super good night. And yeah, I'll probably be done shortly. Hopefully you can finish tomorrow. Good night, Casey. So yeah. So I was saying how overcoming this thing that is in my head, that was in my head about, oh my God, I'm a doctor and I'm not doing the conventional thing. It's been 2 years. It's been difficult, you know, trying to put this message out there, to get people to know you and what you do. Really believing in this message that is just huge and important, and it's, you know, it's of worldly importance. It doesn't matter if you are, you know, in this or that country, if you are from this or that religion, if it doesn't matter what your political view is. This is about feeling good with yourself and accepting who you are, and putting, you know, love and respect for yourself and boundaries. I think is the basic, is the most essential thing for your health, for your body, for your emotions, for your mind, for your work, for your family, for your kids, the way you are doing your life, the way you're living your life, basically. So that's why I wanted to come and speak about truths and share some of mine, because I've even, you know, right now I'm 35 years old. I've grown a lot and I've come a long way, but especially in the last maybe 7 years, and even more in the last 4 years and 3 years, and even more in the last year. It's constantly growing and evolving. It never stops, but in that process of never stopping, you become more aware. Tanya, yo creo, Tanya says, I think we need to reinvent ourselves. It's healthy, and it also helps us know ourselves and use the tools that we have learned. Absolutely, Tanya, absolutely, súper cierto, de verdad, eso es excelente. And that's so true. We learn these things, we keep evolving, we learn these things, we have new tools. I mean, if we saw life as a game, like we play on, like people play games, is that we get these tools to be able to continue the journey. So the same is in real life, because that's what it is. We continue the journey, we learn all these things, we never stay in one same spot. Sometimes in the journey, I was just speaking about this topic, which is fun and interesting, with my partner, and we were talking about this thing, and I was saying, well, we are like a train, or we are on a train. We are moving, constantly moving. Sometimes we need to stop and to check the landscape, or decide if we're going left or right. Sometimes we need to stop, but if we stop for too long, we stagnate, and then we stay there and we get confused. So if we're not moving, we will feel like we lose track a little bit, right? And this sense of happiness, it really is about how much you love yourself, yes, and we need to define what love is. We need to define what is loving ourselves. So I was saying, it is boundaries, it is respect. We were agreeing on this same thing, right? And through this, we really understand that we have, absolute permission to allow be everything that we are, with the good and the bad and the ugly, from the past and the present. But that's all who we are, and it's just fine as long as we are aware of the things that we are and the things that we have come through. It doesn't really matter if you've gone through awful shit, or if you've been, life is always giving us all sorts of experiences, right? And through every single experience we learn, and through every single experience we come an extra step ahead. And that's just it. The same things you will learn the same things as I will learn, just through different experiences and in different periods of our lifetimes, right? But when we hide realities that we know we are, it will be very difficult to do a life that you like and a life that you enjoy and a life that you want, because you're stopping yourself from embracing something that you really, really want to do. And we do it because we fear what people will say. Like I still sometimes think, oh my God, if I do this, I will be judged by my colleagues because I'm doing completely opposite things. I'm still, I'm actually looking after people's health and emotional and physical well-being, just in a different level than the usual way or the conventional way. So I'm like, God, I don't want to be pointed to. But then I think, okay, but this is me. This is who I am. This is what I believe, and I will help so many people. So why not, right? And that's the thing. Becoming aware and managing and dealing with your own fears and your own blocks and your own issues. There was another issue that I've had for a long, long time. And just recently I was thinking about it, and I thought, okay, I've had a situation with a person in my life, and I've talked about that issue many, many times with my best friends, my closest people, but I've never talked about that issue with that person ever. And I realized that just recently, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And it made me think, and I was like, wow, that's another truth. There are things, in your life, it's like we are who we are. We attract people with our thoughts, our feelings, the things that we stand for. And there, with this, I realized, oh my God, I haven't really fixed or tried to fix or simply communicate this issue with the person that I was having it. And it's been years, and I thought, okay, so it's time to do something about it. It's not like I thought of it before actually talking about it until as I said, a few weeks ago. And that really gave me massive insight, and I thought, okay, I need to do something about it. It's very, very scary. It's very, very it was scary, but I did it, and I got a reply that I wasn't really expecting one kind of reply or another, but it was, after all, easier than I thought. And holding those issues within you for so long, call it months, years, weeks, whatever, with work or people or relatives, or it makes no sense until you talk and you speak your truths. Those things that you're hiding, that you're keeping in there because of fear, mostly fear. Basically, we hide things because we fear what people are going to think about us. And in that fear, we stop living a very, very true life of our own. So that's why I really wanted to bring this topic today. I hope, thank you everyone who's joining just now. I hope you can watch the replay. This was a very, very juicy talk, and I was very inspired. So I hope you really can catch the replay just now. I'm about to be done. So I hope this was helpful in many levels. It's very, very important. It's very juicy. So I hope you can go watch. And if you have any questions, just feel free to hit them, to leave them in the comments. I really, really think, as I've been saying, speaking our truths is an act of bravery. It's an act of bravery, because to speak your truth, it means you have accepted it. And in order to accept your truth, or who you are and the things that you love, without the fear of being judged by your family or by your friends or by your colleagues, in order to accept that, you have to really be okay with yourself and really be confident of who you are and what you stand for, so much that you really don't care in a, you know, in a good way, in a healthy way, what others think, because you know you are doing this stuff for a better good, for a highest good, for a collective good, right? So that's really it. That's really about it. We just need to be really honest with ourselves so we can start changing. It takes, you know, it's a process, so we can start changing and doing the things that we want to do, in order to feel, you know, we deserve to just feel good on daily basis. So it's like a check control that we should do every day. What will I do to feel good today? Or if something happens, something that is, you know, a little bit tough, okay, how can I snap out of it so I can just stay on track and not buy the bullshit from the past, right? Because we deserve to change it, and we deserve to follow our own rules as an adult. So we need to think more, you know, more simply, like when we were kids, but with a very, very sense of truthfulness. Is that how you say it? Truthfulness, right? To yourself. I really believe in this, and I think it's very important. So thank you for joining, Lorna. Thank you so much for following all along. Yeah, I was able to speak to this person. We have a pending coffee. It was very, very interesting. You know, the feeling of feeling so light and good within myself just by saying it, just by you know, even the thought of saying it before I was actually gonna say it. It felt really, really good, and it was, I think, my most pending issue that I had in my life, and I did it, and it was suddenly so easy, and stuff happened right afterwards, like other stuff, and you wouldn't think it relates, but it does, right? You deal with one thing, and so many other things start to flow, and that's how life goes. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Marta, hello Marta, I'm just finishing, so please, I think you will really, really love this video, Marta, so go and watch the replay if you can. Childhood wounds are scary, yeah, scary and scary. Yeah, and anything that we are in our childhood, that's who we really are deep down, and we forget those wounds so many times, and we have to bring them up and heal them, because it really, really, these wounds, they really tag us in a way, and it's who we are. So we're allowed to be that, you know. When we're kids, we are just free, and I want to think that we all can be that free. Being as an adult, you can be that free, that happy, that authentic, and still do good and be a responsible adult. You can, but we have to release the fear, the fear of judgment. So yeah, truths, people. I think that's about it. So I hope this was helpful. Now I'm tuning off, and thank you so much for joining, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.